All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into some LPDS universe updates. I share some what I would say is some of the best news and the happiest update I've had in a long time for myself. We'll get into that, but one of the happiest updates I've had in a long time for sure. We'll get into some Yankees updates, postseason baseball updates. We talk about a rising trend that I think is funny, and we'll get into that. I'll tell you why I think it's funny. Obviously, that's what we do here. I over explain everything, and we take some hotline calls. Finally, the calls that have been waiting for weeks and weeks now. We'll finally take those calls. And we also have a cage fact. Very good cage fact. Very fun, interesting cage fact, as usual. All that's coming up right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti. It's a show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons and everything, and we have a good time doing it. Hope everybody had a good week. I had a nice and busy one. As you can see in YouTube land, if you're watching on YouTube, we are back in the LPDS compound after weeks on the road, up in New Jersey visiting family, doing the damn thing up there, and recording some fun road episodes when I was, mentally not all there. Clearly, we are finally back at the LPDS compound. Randy and I are back safe and sound, and it's been an interesting, week and a half, 2 weeks that we've been back. Trying to think how long we've been back. Actually, this will be the second week back because I've recorded a bunch of the road episodes earlier and posted those, so that's why we're behind on timeline, and you haven't heard a lot of LPDS updates since then. So, what the heck was I gonna say? I got my camera's getting all jacked up. Of course, shocker. Still can't figure out tech. How many years now? 233 episodes, and I still got tech issues. So that's the LPDS, folks. Anyway, I get home from my road trip, and as some of you know, my air conditioning crapped out on me. Now, we're talking, it was, in September. We're in October now, but this happened obviously in September when I got back. Texas September is still hot, for better or worse. I like the heat, but with that comes a requirement for air conditioning still. So that crapped out on me. I had to get the whole thing replaced. Long story longer. Probably about 5 days of no air conditioning at the house. I had a small mobile unit and some fans going. I didn't want Randy to get overheated or be uncomfortable or anything. So we did that for about a week, got the whole thing replaced, and now we're firing on all cylinders with the new AC. So all is well that ends well. The LPDS compound, if anything, is better now for it. So good, good ending, happy ending to a tumultuous week dealing with that. Now, there was some other good news that happened around the same week that really made me forget about the AC. I'm going to get into that in a sec, but I want to talk very quickly first about postseason baseball. Okay, because I want to get this out there so I don't get too heated. And we could put this aside for the rest of the episode, and also you can clip this and call me out if I'm wrong on what my predictions are. But I'm obviously recording this before the Yankees start their postseason run. Okay, they start Saturday, October 5th. Let's look at my date. The 5th. Yeah, we're recording on the 4th. That Friday. If you're doing, calendar dates and days, that's how it goes. 4th and 5th. So I don't know how they're going to do. I'll get a better gauge on how I think they're going to do in the playoffs after game one, at least. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But here's my prediction. Sorry, folks. Had more freeze up issues. So anyway, where was I? Prediction. I don't think the Yankees will win the World Series. I still don't think they will. I really want them to. I really want them to. I want to be wrong here. I would love for them to pull it off. For whatever reason, their Vegas odds are still basically the highest of all the remaining teams left in the playoffs. I still don't know how that's possible, but it is. But they also have a golden opportunity and an actual avenue to victory this year. Okay. And this is something we discussed previously, and I don't like this as the plan. This is what the Yankees were banking on, and I'm happy they got lucky and it happened, but they were banking on other teams to shit the bed, essentially. Instead of seeing the field of teams being not as good this year and trying to take advantage of that by signing a couple more guys to bolster their team and run away with the whole thing, they decided to save the money and be cheap and hope that the other teams just eliminate themselves, and then the Yankees just have to be just a little bit better. And right now, that's what's happening. It's crazy that it's working. I'm not terribly mad at it. I hate it as a long-term plan. I think it's cheap, and it takes advantage of the stupid dedication of fans of the Yankees, because they know that we're still going to go to games even if the team doesn't have a good lineup, except for two guys. So I don't like it ethically, but whatever. I want them to win as well. So the Orioles eliminated from the playoffs. They lost in the wild card. Houston Astros out in the wild card. They're gone. Those are the two toughest teams in the AL right now that were going to give the Yankees a problem. I can almost guarantee you the Astros would have beat the Yankees if they faced off against each other in like the ALCS or something like that. Would have been almost an easy series for Houston. They just own the Yankees in the playoffs these days. And I also believe that the Orioles would have stepped it up and taken them down as well. Now, do I think the Yankees are gonna have an easy road now? No, not at all. Because they're facing the Royals now, who it's a team that has nothing to lose. Nobody expects them to win and get anywhere, so they're gonna play with reckless abandon out there and try to shock the world, like they did in the first round, the wild card round. And on the other side, you have the Detroit Tigers, who just knocked out the Astros, playing the Guardians. And at this point, I kind of hope the Guardians win that, because if the Yankees can somehow beat the Royals, the Yankees historically have done better against the Guardians, the old Indians, the Cleveland Indians, in the playoffs. So there might be a better matchup for them overall. But if the Tigers win, while their team might not be pound for pound better than the Yankees, they're riding a serious high. They knocked out the Astros, and then if they knock out the Guardians, and they got basically the Cy Young pitcher in Tarek Skubal. Is it Skubal or Scrubble? Scrubbles? I don't know. Tariq Skubal. they can, with that momentum, they could do serious damage. Now, the MLB, the commissioner and the MLB, I guarantee you are praying the Yankees make it to the World Series. From a money standpoint, they need the Yankees to make it to the World Series because nobody wants to see the Royals in the World Series. Nobody wants to see the Tigers in the World Series. Nobody wants to see the Guardians in the World Series from the AL, except for their small fan bases. Okay? People would have come out to see the Orioles for sure. People absolutely would have watched the Astros in there for sure because they got a big fan base and they have an international fan base of haters, of people who hate them. So they would have watched to hope that they lose. They're gone. The Orioles are gone. The only big team that's going to bring in the viewership and bring in the money are the Yankees in the American League. So the MLB has to be begging for that. Now on the National League side, they're good to go. Okay? They're really set up for success. Because if you think about the worst team that can make it from the NL side, it's the Mets. And they bring in numbies. You can hate the Mets all you want. They bring in the nubbies. Numbies, not nubbies. Maybe they bring in the nubbies too. I don't know. And they've been hot. The entire second half of the season, they've been basically the best team in the league in the NL side. Maybe next to the Padres, which is the third lowest team as far as viewership and ratings would go for a World Series team on the NL side. And then you have the Phillies and the Dodgers. Okay? The Phillies have a big enough fan base that people are going to go want to watch them win. And the Dodgers also have a big enough hater fan base that they're going to watch the Dodgers to try to hope that they lose. So they're going to bring in numbies. They also have Shohei Ohtani. The Phillies have Bryce Harper. It's a loaded cast of teams and players that people want to see either do well or fail. So the NL is good to go. And if the Mets make it to the World Series and the Yankees make it a Subway Series of the New York teams, that's always going to bring in numbies. Or a Yankees-Dodgers with Ohtani and Judge, numbies, viewership, money. Now, do I think any of that's going to happen? No, I just don't. The Yankees team is not set up for playoff success. How do you go into the playoffs without a concrete pitching staff of starters that they don't know who their rotation is yet? And they only have basically 2.5 guys, maybe 3 total in their lineup that they can sort of rely on and say, those guys are going to be good. And here's what I mean by that. You got Soto. He's gonna be a workhorse there. You got Judge, who's obviously the best player in the league right now, but nobody's going to pitch to him. So you might as well just take him out. So now it goes down again. So take him out. Austin Wells has been doing pretty good towards the end of the year. So he's like a half. And then I call Stanton a half because Stanton usually just stinks. But in the playoffs, for some reason, he becomes a phenom. But we don't know for sure if it's going to happen at any given point. So you just hope for the best. And that's exactly what the Yankees are doing with the rest of their lineup and pitching staff, is hoping for the best. Everybody has to step up and play well above what they've been playing all year, which is a tough ask and a high expectation. Oh, don't forget the fact that they don't have a closer still. The number 1 team in the division doesn't have a closer. Okay? You're not setting your team up for success when you roll into the playoffs with that team, with all those holes there. So that's why I don't think they're going to win. You got the playoff momentum going on. The Yankees have not shown that eye of the tiger like they did in the beginning of the season when they were making comebacks and staying in the games the entire time. I haven't really seen that as much in the second half of the season. And historically in the playoffs, the last 10 years, they go down without a fight. If they're down, they stay down. So I really want them to prove me wrong. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I would love to see them. This is a golden opportunity for them to actually win a World Series this year. And I just don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to blow the opportunity because they didn't set themselves up for success in the beginning like we were begging them to do. Now, if they have a Subway Series with the Mets, I'm doing everything I can to try to get to a game. I don't care what I have to do. Basically, not I have some limits, but the threshold's high. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's the Yankees update. Moving on. I want to make a quick mention because I've been talking about this historically for how many, 2 years now. And this is the only political thing I'm going to talk about. The Ukraine support, when did that start? 2 years ago? Now, I think. I just want to put this in people's minds when they're thinking about this and they're trying to make excuses for anything that these politicians are doing. An additional $8 billion to Ukraine. That brings the total support up to $175 billion of money, taxpayer money to Ukraine. No questions asked. An additional $8.7 billion of support to Israel. No questions asked. $750 per person in North Carolina and the areas affected by the hurricane in the United States. Just to put that in perspective for you. Okay. Also, all the FEMA money, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association, or whatever the A stands for, administration. The federal organization that is specifically built to respond to natural disasters in the United States with funding and supplies and support. Not only did they spend their entire budget on illegal immigrants, they are now actively slowing down the aid process to the people in these areas because they don't like Elon Musk and he's trying to get Starlinks and internets and stuff into these people, and they're slowing it down because they don't make Elon look good. And that's not my opinion. That's not a tinfoil hat thing. That's been a reported thing now. That's what's happening. Okay? So you want to know why I hate politicians and the government so bad, and I sound like a crazy person every time I talk about it? This is why. Because they just use us as expendable pawns in their quest for power and control and riches. And it's disgusting. And I hate it. And that's all I'm going to say about it because I guess, like I said, I'm tired of it. There's nothing there. There's not even good jokes out there to make about it. I say this now, how many weeks now in a row where I try to find the funny and stuff, and we can't. It's just so depressing. And these are the people they're going to get continued to be voted in for time and time again because I don't know why. Because nobody listens to the LPDS. That's why. Anyway, speaking of money, this won't affect you guys. I don't think many of you even care about this because I'm sure a lot of you are also dealing with your own, debts of sorts anyway. And it's whatever. It was my problem and this is my update. But after 14 years. I graduated college in 2010. We're now in 2024. 14 years and bitching about it for every year. And for the last 4 years that I've been talking about it on this show that you know about because I've been bitching about it, I have finally paid off all my student loans. I don't want to tell you how much it was. I don't even know exactly. I didn't run the numbies to find out how much I paid to include the interest payments. But let's just say the principal balance in 2010 for 5 years at a private institution that was roughly $30,000 a year, plus flying on the side and all that other stuff that you had to pay out of pocket for. It was over $200,000. And I don't mind saying it. And this is not a brag. I am not a brag. I'm not happy about that at all. I've made a lot of mistakes early on in my college career, when it came to learning about loans and knowing what loans to take out and knowing what they do and paying them off and all that stuff. I knew nothing about it. I just knew I needed money to go to college. And that's what we did. We found a way to get money to go to college. If I had any regret in my life, it was that. It was the way I went about doing all of that. Not going to the college itself and meeting, all my best friends and brothers and stuff like that, all the experiences. I'm talking about the loan process, the getting the finances to pay for higher education, because that was a 14-year mistake and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But it's all over. It's all over. I can't use the excuse anymore. I have to ask for your forgiveness up front because I'm so used to using that as an excuse. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna accidentally make a joke about it or bitch about it because that's all I know. That's all we've known here at the LPDS. So I'm happy about it. But please allow me a little time to get used to the fact that those jokes are gone. The excuse is gone. And also, by the way, I want to put it out there now. Anybody listening to this from the college, from that institution that I went to, don't even think about asking me for a dime, a penny, a half a penny, a tit hair's worth of alumni support to your institution. I am never paying a single cent more directly or indirectly to that institution ever again. Ever again. I don't care if I'm a billionaire. The only thing I would consider doing is doing something to support the baseball team only, but it wouldn't be money. Maybe I'll get them a block of hotel rooms. Like I'll cover all their hotel costs for travel on road trips, or I'll make sure that they get all the Papa John's pizzas they need on road trip meals. But there is not a check being written. There is not an envelope of cash being handed out ever again to that institution by me personally, ever again. The only thing would be to the baseball program in some other support. I'll buy them uniforms. They won't see a dime. I'm not giving them money to do whatever they want with it. I'm going to give them the stuff, the food, the lodging, the hats, the jerseys, the apparel, whatever, and that's it. It's no more money. That's no more free money for them to do whatever they want. I have paid enough to that institution. A lot of us have paid enough to that institution, not just in money, but in time and blood and sweat and tears and agony. And one day I will rehash the story of that program again. Maybe I did it years ago, bitching about it. But yeah, I couldn't be happier that I'm done with it. I'm all done. It's over. It is over in the best way possible. It's done. So with that, let's get into the good stuff. I'll try to run through this episode without me ranting for too long, even though I already have. And yeah, we'll step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Captain Steuben's Sensual Moisturizing Serum. If you're looking to spice up your love life but don't want to do harm to your skin from all the rubbing going on, then get yourself Captain Steuben's Sensual Serum today. Steuben's Serum is artisanally made to not only turn your body into a slip and slide, it also moisturizes the skin to help prevent common rashes and dryness that occur when using those other lubes. Does that make sense? I don't know. And with same-day delivery options, you'll be lubing with Steuben by dinner time. So if you want to get weird with your fellow or lady, but don't want to look like a rashed-up freak afterwards, grab yourself Captain Steuben's Sensual Serum at www.rearendadmiral.com and use the promo code SLIMETIME to get 29% off your first bottle of serum. I bet you guys wish now that I was doing more road episodes so we didn't have to deal with these sponsors, huh? But that's what we got here. That's what we get here. Steuben's. Anyway. Article came out recently, Cage Fact Time. Article came out recently because Nic Cage is all the way back. Somebody took inventory of Nic Cage's exotic car collection. And it's obviously dwindled since his heyday, his first heyday before the tax stuff. But he's got, let me do the math here. 14, 15 cars, exotic cars, not his everyday drivers, but just exotic vehicles. Okay, one of them obviously being the Eleanor Mustang from Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm pretty sure that's not even a real version of a Mustang. They made that for the movie. Now they make those now. You can get companies to create custom Eleanor GT 500s or whatever they were, but Ford did not come out with that model. That was specific for the movie, and then they started making them as novelties after. So he's got the one from the movie. Beautiful ride. I love it. He's got 3 Lamborghinis, 4 Ferraris to include I don't know if it's the exact one, but the same model from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 2 Porsches, 1 old Jaguar, 2 old Rolls Royces, and 2 World War II era Bugattis. I don't know if that's real. I don't even know if Bugatti was around during that time, but I guess it was. So just further evidence that Nic Cage is feeling himself again. Okay? He's buying up properties. He's driving all these exotic cars. He's making absolute bangers in the theaters again. It's crazy to see this now because, what was it, 2 years ago when Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent came out? I think it was 2 years ago. We said it then that he was so back, not that he went anywhere. And now he's even like, we were so right. Okay? If I wish I was more popular and I found a way to get this to him to see that his biggest fans are right here. His biggest supporters, the biggest hype men are right here at the LPDS. And we've been there the entire time, and we've been right the entire time. And it feels good to be right about this stuff. And I'm going to continue working my ass off for you all out there to continue to be right about this stuff and be ahead of the curve, because that's what we do here. When we step into the cage, we are ahead of the curve and we are always right. And it feels damn good to see him doing well and us being right. So that's the cage fact. There you go. Quick and dirty. Let's move on over to the Junction. We'll spin the logo up. Probably a quick one today. I don't really know. But there's this emerging trend going on right now that started October 1st. Now, hand up, I was unaware that this was a trend. Okay? If you're not familiar with social media and stuff like this, it's called the winter arc. And supposedly it's supposed to be like, this is the time frame where your character arc is going through, the winter times, and this is where you bear down and you do the things nobody wants to do. You're up and awake when everybody else is asleep. You're out doing the shit that nobody wants to do, the hard shit that nobody wants to do. You're out making things happen. You're isolating yourself from the distractions of the world and everybody else around you, and you're just going, so that when the winter arc ends, I forgot what the timeline was on it, and everybody's coming out of their winter holiday slumbers, you're 55 steps ahead of the game and throwing 7 different kinds of smoke. Now, I saw this, again, hand up, I was not tracking this as like an actual thing. I saw this on an Instagram page, Gym Fail Nation, it's called, because they post a bunch of gym and workout memes that are funny, and I like that stuff. And they posted this, and they described the winter arc, but on their post was a training montage of Rocky. So, as you guys know, anything Rocky, I'm locked in on. So I read the description. I was like, this sounds cool. And Rocky's on this video. So I'm recording it, and I sent it out to my brothers. I sent it in a group chat with our old coach Skip, because he's a big Rocky fan too. And that's why I sent it. I sent it because it was a video of Rocky working out and doing stuff, and that's what gets us jacked up, so to speak. Anything Rocky. So that's what I did. And apparently I was told that this is actually a trending thing right now, where these Instagram alphas and these frauds that are tough guys behind the microphone and the cameras and their internets and stuff like that are talking about this winter arc where they're going to be bigger, better, stronger than everybody else. And it's not like this Gym Fail Nation video posted about the arc in general. It wasn't a person talking about how they're going to go through it and they're going to be bigger and better. It was just in general, like, this is what it is kind of thing. And here's Rocky to get, engagement. And it worked. There are people out there posting videos, like fake dramatic videos of them staring at a mirror, running in the cold, doing stuff that they're only doing in front of the camera, but not really behind it, just so they can say that they're in their winter arc. They're in the arc right now. And it's funny to me because we talk about stupid shit like this all the time. I talked about it. It's reminds me a lot of the New Year, New Me people. During New Year's, that's their day. That's their excuse to hit the reset button and forget about all the shit that they did or didn't do the year prior. And this is a new start, and they're going to do all this stuff, and they don't really actually do it. This is what this reminds me of. It's just another like there's a collective group of people out there that only survive by latching onto trends. That's the only way that they can maintain any sort of relevance, that they can feel good about themselves, whatever it is. They have to be part of these trends. I know several people in my life who are like that, friends and family members alike, that that are just like that, and they don't even realize that they're in it. They're in their trend arc. Because no matter what the trend is, if it's popular, they're jumping on it and they're acting like it's a do or die thing. You have to do it. You have to watch this show. It's the best show around. You have to do this. It's the most important thing you could do. You have to be in your arc, or they do the same. Or, oh, I'm in my winter arc, or I'm in my this era. All the people, all those, they're all the same people. Okay, the trend people, the arc people, the Taylor Swift, I'm in my blank era people, the yapper trend people. What else was there? What was the other trend I saw? The demure, very mindful, very demure. Those people, they're all, that's it. New year, new me's. Those are all the same people. They're all the same. And they just trend hop and popularity hop because it's the cool thing to do and put out on social media these days. So if you see the winter arc, that's what it is. Okay? The vast majority of people talking about it on the internets are not doing any of that shit. Okay? But I will say this. I like that idea of this winter arc. Not saying I'm in my winter arc. I'm officially in the arc. I'm all arced up, baby. No. I joke about it with our group chat. We have a great, I am laughing my ass off in the group chat. Everybody's doing stupid stuff and they're like, I'm officially in the arc, baby. I'm arced up. I'm going to do this and that. I'm eating Bosco sticks for lunch. I'm arced up, baby. It's awesome. I love that. I love making light of stuff and being silly and stupid about stuff. So I don't mind that at all. But the concept of the winter season, the holiday season, being that time where the vast majority of people hunker down for the rest of the year, that's true. That's a real thing. Okay? You can see it in your relationships with friends and going out and all that stuff. That kind of dies down a little bit. You can see it with school if you're in school. You could see it at work in the business world. Everyone's taking holiday leave. Deals aren't being, it's not a lot is going on because the end of the year is coming. The new fiscal year just started. So it's a whole new budget. They have a whole year to piss away their money. So they're not worried about it right now as much. We're also in the beginning of the Holy Holiday Triumvirate, which you know I love. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all coming up soon. So we're in that. That's part of the arc. Okay, you want to get arced up, you got to understand the Holy Holiday Triumvirate is you got to be ready for that if you want to be arced up. So I really like that idea of when everybody else is sleeping, mentally, emotionally sleeping, not hibernating physically, but when everyone else is putting things on the back burner, and they're in cruise control the rest of the year, this is your chance to make your moves, whatever they may be. Now, you have to, consciously think about what you want to do, what goals do you want to accomplish, but you have an opportunity. There is a window, and it happens periodically throughout the year. There are different small windows of opportunity to take the lead in something. And maybe it's your own race to success. Whatever it is, there is an opportunity here. Okay? I promise you will start to see less people going to the gym by the November, December timeframe. Okay? You're going to see the workloads kind of lighten a little bit for a lot of people at work. Maybe if you're shit hot at your job, you might get actually more work because everybody else is starting to slack off. So they're going to dump more of the responsibility. That's 80% of the people are doing 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work. Excuse me, I flipped the numbies there. That's true in a lot of cases. So maybe you'll see that, but there is an opportunity here for you to identify something you want to get better at whether it's your physical fitness, whether it's getting more clients for your business, whether it's working towards a promotion in your job, whether it's a hobby, being better at a hobby, woodworking or taking piano or whatever it is, there's an opportunity here for you to take advantage of the fact that the vast majority of the people are putting it into cruise control. Okay, so you'll have more ability at a time, free machines at the gym to hit those workouts hard. You'll have more availability probably to get piano lessons or learn a new skill because people are not tying up these piano teachers with their, tying up their time, getting lessons and stuff. Everyone's putting it on the back burner. They're in cruise control mode. And that's a stupid example because I don't know the trends and the cycles of piano teachers. But I'd be willing to bet if we had a Numbies guy out here, if we had a sabermetrics guy here, a little 5'2", Jonah Hill looking son of a bitch, Corey Davis looking motherfucker. Sorry, T Family Show. He could probably run these numbers and say, yeah, you're right. A lot less piano lessons are going on right now because everyone's getting ready for the holidays. They're focusing on Halloween. Then they got Thanksgiving. It's the end of the year. They want to take time off and be with their families. And I get it. I love that. But I also like the idea of getting after it. And I'm not saying we're all going to succeed at it. I'm not saying me personally, I'm going to build all my clientele for Spearhead in the next couple months here. But I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to be cold calling the absolute shit out of people. And I'm going to be making a shitload of content for the dating coach as long as I still have that part-time job. That's a part-time and experimental job that could end by the end of the month. I don't know. But as long as I had that, I'm going to be working my ass off, busting out content as much as I can to get ahead of the curve. Okay? To get ahead of the arc. This is the arc. We want to be at the finish line before everybody else. Okay? And we have a golden opportunity to do that. Now, like I said, do I think these trend things are stupid? Yeah. Do they affect me a lot? No. It's almost easy to filter out people I don't want to associate with if they're the trend clan, they're the trend crew doing all this stuff. If you're posting about it or you're saying this stuff on a regular basis and you're just checking all the boxes that you're supposed to check to be the trendy cool person, that's an easy filter out for me. I'll be an acquaintance of yours, but you're not even getting close to my inner circle of important people that I want to be friends with. So it's nice for me. I have nothing against these people. I'm not judging them. I just don't want to be friends with, you don't have to be friends with everybody and you don't have to judge them either. Those two things can be true. So I don't care. I'm not mad about them doing that. I think it's funny that people are so reliant on the outside opinions of others, because that's what that is. If you think about it, that's what following trends and cool things are. It's because you care about what other people think of you too much so. So you have to do whatever you think is cool in the eyes of others. And I do feel bad for those people, but I certainly don't judge them. I don't want to put them down. Whatever they got to do, that's their journey. I just think it's stupid. I just think those trends are unnecessary. You should be relying on your own self-confidence and self-evaluation and what you think is cool and fun and exciting to do and what's going to better you. So that's why most of these trends are stupid. From the winter arcs to the New Year, New Me's, to even just the verbiage, very demure, very mindful. Like, it's giving this. It's giving me the ick. It's giving, I sound stupid saying that crap and personally, I feel stupid. I don't like doing that, so I'm not going to do it. I don't care if Nic Cage himself said, "Hey, if you start saying very demure all the time, I'll put you in one of my movies." I'll say I'm sorry, Nick. I'll do other stuff. I'll do, you know, I'll do stuff below the equator for you. I'll do other stuff that you need, but I'm not following a trend just to get approval. I can't do it. Okay. I've been the non-trendy, I've been the loser for long enough in those people's eyes, not in my eyes. I'm a winner. But I've been a loser in the eyes of those cool, trendy folks my entire life. I am very familiar with this environment of being considered a loser. I like it. I'm fine with it. So I don't care if I'm still in it any long. Like if I'm still in it longer because I decided to turn down a trend or whatever. And I do feel bad for those people who rely on that to keep going. I wish people were more independent in that regard. I wish people relied less on motivation to do things. I wish people relied less on other people's opinions to accomplish their goals and just to exist in life. But that's just the way of the world. That's why these trends actually happen. So, long story longer, that's the winter arc. I liked the video with Rocky. That's what I liked about it. I don't like the fact that the winter arc has become an excuse for people who don't do anything, the do nothings of the world, to post videos saying they're going to do stuff because they're going to get likes and engagement and superficial popularity, and they're not going to do anything. They're still going to be fat. They're still going to be not cool. They're still going to be disrespected. But they got the engagement. They got the likes. They got whatever, I don't know why this gave me a thumbs up in YouTube land. I didn't even give a thumbs up on the camera, so whatever. But I will say this. The LPDS universe, we're officially in the arc. We are arced up like you can't believe. Okay? And I expect you guys to all be mindful of that. Be mindful and demure about the fact that we're in the arc right now. It is our winter arc, our character arc. This is where we turn the tides against the bullies and the other antagonists of our lives, or our life book. Okay? So get out there and get after it. That's all I got about that. Before we go, we got a couple hotline calls, and then we are getting out of here because I want to go to the gym. So with that, let's see what we got in the hotline here. We only have 2 calls, so get to them quick and we'll be on our way.
I don't know how anyone can listen to this podcast at 1 speed. I can barely handle it at 2 speed. I feel like you're essentially Kamala Harris. Word salads that just take too long.
All right. Thanks for the call, caller. Maybe you should put it at 2.5 speed or 3 speed. I don't have any suggestions for you. You cannot listen. I don't know. I feel like you do a lot of hating for a guy who tunes in every week. So I feel bad for you, but I'm not mad about the viewership. So I appreciate that. I do have to say this, though. Go listen to any show on 2 speed. Go ahead. And then tell me that this person is not a psychopath for listening to things on 2 speed. Because it's wild. Okay? I feel like if he's listening on 2 speed, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to keep slowing down with more pauses in between my words, more words to describe what I'm talking about, essentially, for any given subject. It could be a response to a hotline call. It could be the Junction topic. It can be what I had for lunch. I'll be as explicit and verbose as possible, because when you listen to it at a 2 speed, that is so unrealistically fast. I've listened to it before. It's crazy to think that anybody listens to that, any show whatsoever, at that speed and can even understand what they're listening. At that point, just don't listen to the show. You're not getting anything out of it. The only thing you're doing, if anything, is you're helping me out with viewership, which is great, and I'm grateful for it. And obviously, I don't want to lose you as a viewer, but I got nothing else for you, fella. I got nothing else for you. We've been doing this show at the same rate for 4+ years. If you think we're going to change because you like to listen to things at a psychopathic speed, we're just not. A 2 speed is crazy. And I don't appreciate being compared to any politician. I think that's disrespectful. And I certainly wouldn't do that to you. So, but thanks for the call. Thanks for your continued support, despite me constantly being a disappointment to you. I can't imagine what life must be like for you, that you are constantly disappointed and you're but you're hopeful. I appreciate your hope that each week you tune into the show thinking you're going to get something different. I appreciate that hope that you bring to the table, that faith you have. And I'm sorry I continue to disappoint you. All right, let's go to the final call here. Let's see what we got, and then we'll be on our way. I already said that before, but we're going to be on our way. Don't worry.
Oh, hi, buddy. I was wondering if you can give me some advice on leadership. I just lost about $180 million on a Star Wars franchise. I mean, on a show, because a bunch of woke millennials made it gay. How do you deal with these gay millennials with their diversity, equity, and inclusion?
All right, thanks for the call, Mickey, the resident pedophile of the LPDS universe, I guess. I'm not commenting on that. I believe for anything, especially when I talk about the military, but I believe any organization, any privately run organization, now I know Disney's a publicly traded company, whatever, but they still have to have standards for people to, you have to have values and you have to have standards, and you have to recruit people for your team that are going to meet, live by those values and also meet those standards. Okay? A business has goals just like everybody else, just like the military has goals, just as a sports team has goals. Okay? You have to you owe it to your organization and everybody working in that organization to put yourself in the best position to achieve those goals. Okay? So you would want to hire and recruit people that share your values and will also help you lead to that goal accomplishment. Okay? And I personally don't think that a lot of organizations are actually hiring and recruiting to achieve their goals. I believe that they're hiring and recruiting to check off political narrative boxes. And it's not fair to those people that they hire because they're setting them up for failure. It's not fair to the people already in the organization because they're setting them up for failure. All because they're kowtowing to their political coffers, if you will. So all I'll say on that is whatever Disney wants to do, all I can recommend from a leadership standpoint is recruit and hire people to your organization that align with your values and put you in the best position for that job role, will put you in the best position to meet your goals and expectations and standards. That's it. If their abilities don't meet that, you probably shouldn't hire them. So that's my leadership recommendation. And if you look at the actual numbers, the actual statistics back that up. The diversity will be there. The success will be there. The improvement in work environment and the work culture will be there when you focus on those two main things when you're bringing people onto your team. Do they align with the values of this organization? That the values that you also align with and work towards each and every day. They're not just, stuff you put on a wall and say, this is our values, and then you don't follow those values. You have to follow them too. Okay? Does this person align with the values that we follow each and every day? And we're putting them in this position. Do they have what it takes to help us accomplish our goals and our mission? If you can answer those two questions, you're 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a good candidate and they're going to help you. Okay? And nobody's going to question that. So for Pediophile Mickey, that's what I recommend you do. Okay? You want to stop taking $180 million baths on shitty movies and franchises that you bought up? Find people to take over those franchises that align with your values and help you actually meet your goals, meet your expectations and standards of your organization. So hope that helps. Thank you for the call. That's all we got today, folks. Interesting. Before we go, really quick, the big three, the 3 pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, more genuine human being and spreading that goodness and positivity throughout the land. Number 1, exercise every day. Do something each and every day to work out and improve your fitness and health and wellness physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person, be a kind person. There's a lot of crap going on in the world right now in this country with the election cycle and a lot of chaos. And I could have sat here for 3 hours and been a shitty person in my response to what I think is going on. And I really wanted to because I'm emotionally charged up about it. And when you're emotionally charged up about something, you want to just let the rage go. So I get it. It's very difficult to not do that. But that's what I'm asking you to do. When the opportunity arises to be shitty and negative, even if you're right about something, take the LPDS step back and just omit yourself from the situation. Just don't do anything. Go focus on more positive, productive things with your life, because then you'll be minimizing the negativity and shit going on in the world, and you'll allow yourself the capacity to put yourself in a more productive environment. Okay, and the more often you put yourself in a positive, productive environment, the better that is going to be for your mental health and wellness and everything in life. So, number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. Okay, just start your day off by thinking of at least one good thing in your life and what your life would be like without that thing and how shitty it would be. And I promise you, you'll feel gratitude. And you won't take that thing for granted that day. And you just do that every day. Okay, it's a very simple process. It's difficult to do because it has to be done. You have to do it every day. To change your brain chemistry, to do this stuff, you got to do it every day. Okay? But I promise you, if you do all these 3 things each and every day, at least once a day, and you make it a point, like put it in your head now, I'm going to get it done today. That's it. I'm just going to work on it. I'm going to focus on getting it done today. I'm going to do the big 3 today. And you just do that, say that to yourself every single day. Because every time you wake up, it's today. Okay? So just wake up and say, I'm going to get the big 3 done today. Whenever what I do, that's the one thing I'm going to focus on is the big three and making sure I get that done. That's the most important thing I got to do today is the big three. And then the next day you wake up and the most important thing I got to focus on is the big three. And you do that each and every day. And I promise you, you'll become a better, happier, kinder, less stressed, healthier, more genuine human being. And you'll be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. And I say that, spread it throughout the land. I'm not saying to go spread your message and get on podiums and speak about it. It's just gonna emanate out of you. Okay? When you live the big three and you live by your values, and you don't sit there and judge people for not doing it. You just, through your actions, you live it. You live the big three. You live your additional values in your life. People are going to see that. Okay, that is a magnetic quality to have. That character trait, and that's how you're going to spread it because people are going to feel it off of you. You're going to go into a room and people are going to know that this person is a good person. This is a person I want to be around. I want to flock towards. It's through your actions, guys. It's not just through your words. That's why I do whatever I can to post myself doing that stuff. Like, or when I fail at it, to show you that I am literally working at it every day. And not every day do I succeed at it, but I work at it every day. It's not just for likes. Obviously, it's not for likes. Nobody likes my stuff. I don't have 1 billion followers. I don't have 5,000 followers. But it's an accountability mechanism, and it's also because I don't get to see you guys day in and day out physically, like in person. So I try to do what I can to show that I am working towards the big three each and every day. And I also put up when I fail at it because we're human beings and we fail at shit. But we just got to keep going and keep moving forward and keep striving to be better each and every day, better than the person you were the day before. So that's all I got today, folks. Thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends and enemies and keep calling that hotline 202-670-1114. Hit it up. We'll talk. We'll put your calls on. I love the calls. Can't get enough of the calls. Bring more calls. 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.